Master Halfar here! Previously on the Cursed Far, our boys Sage, Ragnar, and Navan were essentially kidnapped by yours truly and taken to my hideout where I've assigned them a mysterious task. What are they being assigned? Well, keep listening to find out! Now that you're in your rooms and you know where they are, do you guys want to explore the caverns?
No.
I want to go sneaky sneak and walk around
Me and Sage are gonna be like, let's go sneaky sneak.
Sneaky sneak.
Okay, so...
I want to go find the kitchen.
Okay, so
You
yeah, let's,
hungry
Cook the food. To cook
yeah.
the food.
To cook the food.
let's go down the order here. Alright, so Ben,
Okay.
what did you want to do? Did you just want to stay in your room?
Talking about.
What?
Yeah. Ben,
What do you want to
do you
do?
want to explore the caverns? What do you want to do?
Can I get one of the orcs in my room?
I'm gonna say a big N-O to that
That
one.
was what I was gonna ask you.
Roll to seduce.
So we actually would have to go find one of
Yeah,
them.
you have to, like,
eight,
get
and I
out
have
to
a
go-
-1, so...
I mean, if
What?
you really wanted to go find an orc girl to, like, talk to, sure. Do you...
No, I meant...
No, I know what you meant, but you have to get her in your room first, and that's, like, most of the battle. So...
I see. So do I roll a d20?
You have to, like, go
You have to
look
go
around.
Yeah, go look around and find one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go look for a girl.
Alright, so...
Because this lonely bastard needs somebody.
There are a couple rooms I'm gonna let you guys visit. So there's the throne room, there's the main entry room, there's the cafeteria, mess hall kind of thing. I know Sage is gonna make a beeline for that. And then, there's the bedroom hallway, and then, I'm gonna say there's, like, a common area with, like, just chairs and books, you know, where people can just, like, lounge around. I guess a lounge area would be a more accurate description. So where are you going, Ben?
Common room.
Okay. So you go to the common room, and you see several orc chicks just, like, hanging out in there, and a couple of them are, like, reading.
Fuck yeah.
There are some quietly talking amongst themselves.
I have a bad feeling about this, but I'm going with it.
Okay, oh, excuse me, God, that was disgusting. What are you doing?
Oh no.
I'm gonna
I think I
try
know what it is.
to woo one of them. I'm gonna try to sweet talk one of them. Damn it! I lost my die. Fuck me.
So
Okay, so what now?
how are you approaching? Which orc do you approach? One sitting down, reading? Do you approach one of the ones talking? Yes, we're going through with this, Liv. I'm so sorry.
Praise, this is not gonna go well.
You can
Praise
leave
the
if you
Lord.
want. You can leave if you want. I will go to one of the ones. One of the ones talking.
So there's a group of 3 orc ladies just sitting, talking, about, I don't know, their last, like, hunt, I don't know. And,
Ooh.
you walk up to them, what do you say?
I'm trying to think, okay?
I'm trying to think of how to...
Sorry,
flirt
Liv, you have to go through this. I'm
with
sorry.
these giant orc women. These hulking orc women
Yes,
that are,
that might be an aggressive hunt. But did you hear the battle of the 5 armies for the kingdom of Erebor?
The 3 stop talking, and they just kind of look at you, and they all kind of cock their heads to one side, almost like... almost all, like, simultaneously.
Oh, fuck.
And one of them's like, what?
The Battle of Erebor is a famous dwarven tale passed down for many generations. See, the dwarves of Erebor were a mining people, kind of like me. They were mountain dwarves. they mine the precious metal and rock throughout the mountain. Then they find the Arkenstone. And then Thror, the king of these dwarves, saw it as a sign of his kingdom. So he named it the King's Jewel. And then a dragon comes in, tries to kill all the dwarves and tries to exterminate them. But one day, trying to think.
You're good.
A party of 14 is 13 dwarves, a wizard, or wait, was it 12 dwarves? Yeah, it was 12 dwarves, 13 dwarves. Yeah, fuck, I can't think.
You're
It was
good.
either. It was. I'm trying to think. It's like, okay, so the party of 13. Okay. So.
Are you doing a Lord of the Rings
So it
thing?
was a party of 14, 13 dwarves, and a hobbit.
Oh my
But
god.
in that
Here we
party,
go.
secretly, they had a wizard. And he didn't do much, he just got captured. The battle actually started when the people of Lake Town was getting mauled by.
And one of the orc girls, she interrupts you and she says, "What in the hell are you going on about?"
It's a story I forget some parts. It's an ancient dwarvish tale. It was fought many years ago.
Another
Probably before I-
one says, "Are you having a stroke?"
Fuck me. No, I wish I was.
You're not
I
trying
might be
to,
drunk.
Ben, you're not trying to woo anyone right now. You're just telling a story.
No, that's just to get their attention.
Oh, you have their attention. Like, really good. Like, you have their attention.
You're doing
if
great,
you want
man.
to hear the rest of the story, you might want to come into my room.
Charisma slash
Yeah,
seduction.
you
That's
have
what
to.
we'll do.
Okay, you're gonna have to roll something for that because roll a
I'll roll a
persuasion
charisma check.
Roll a persuasion check.
I'll roll a charisma check.
No, a persuasion.
Persuasion.
What did you roll?
Okay, so then you only. What did you roll? 6?
Yeah.
So then it's a 6.
Yeah. So.
I fell horribly. I suck.
Yeah, you failed. All of the orc girls shake their heads.
I'm
and they're
guessing
like,
they start beating me up.
No. If you would have like gotten a 4, maybe. The orc girls are like, no, I don't really think so. They all like shake their heads.
Okay then.
And I actually think they leave the room. Okay, now we're gonna speed this along a little, and we're gonna go to Sage.
You just hear this little dwarvish person just cuss the fuck out and start throwing shit. That's all you hear.
Alright, Sage, so I'm assuming, since you said you wanted food earlier, you're going to the mess hall?
Well, first, yes, I want to go to the mess hall and cook the food that I have. So, into the kitchen we go.
Okay, so you first enter the, like, cafeteria, and there's more orc girls just, like, chilling at the tables. The cafeteria isn't, like, anything fancy. It's a bunch of long wooden tables, and, you can see, like, a kitchen in the back, and, it's just, like, the walls aren't anything fancy either. They're not really decorated or anything. So you go into the kitchen and you cook your food? You just, like, walk in there?
Mm-hmm. Hello, ladies. Don't mind me. I'm just making myself some supper.
I think the orc girls are just cool with it and they let you do your thing. Navon, where were you going?
Thinking, probably go to. I assume since you said that the commons area had books, I'd assume he probably just goes pretty much there. Like, he takes his time getting there, but, like,
Yeah.
that's where he's heading.
Okay, so, since you take your time getting there, you see Ben throwing shit. Yeah, I think there's like a couple books strewn about the floor, and maybe one of the chairs is pushed over. But other than that, it's like, it's chill, and the orc girls that were reading in there before are just still sitting there.
I don't want to look. What do I want to do? Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll go up to one of the orc girls that's like sitting reading, and Nevon will go up to them and see. Sorry to bother you, but I do have a quick question. Is there any kind of books in the common room here that are that you would recommend me to read? And he just kind of asks that very nonchalantly.
She lowers the book and she says, "Well, what are you looking for?"
Well, if there's any kind of books that are maybe of older age that have a lot more history, if there's any like that.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this for a second to literally just praise you for being the first person to ask a question in this campaign that's gonna, like, actually push the plot. Like, it's not just you three. Like, when I played with 13 fucking people, none of them, not
Wait, hold
one
on,
of
hold
them
on.
asked
I didn't
a
hear
question.
any of that. What is she praising her? What is Ayla praising her for? I didn't hear any of it.
Liv is literally the first person to, in every time I've played this campaign, to ask one of the orc girls a question that could potentially tell you guys so much about what you're doing there. Like, a lot.
Damn it! I wasted my shot.
It's not me, like, being mean to you guys. It's...
I fucked up
cannot
somewhere.
believe that- No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You're
No,
fine.
none of you guys did. It's not, like, when I played this with my huge group of people, not one of them asked a question like this. So, the orc girl stands up, and she leads you to one of the shelves, and she, like, it takes her a few moments, but she picks out 3 books, and, no, sorry, actually 4 books. No, wait, no, 3. Okay, sorry, had to think. She picks out 3 books, and she gives them to Navon, and she says, "These things are really old. It's funny, because, Master Halfar actually wrote one of these. This is like, this book is like 150 years old. I know that's not old in elf standards, but
Holy shit.
To be fair, I was actually not existing at that time, but that's still quite old.
Oh, well then I'm sure you'll find interest in this one.
And the books are like super fucking like big and like super dusty
yeah,
and
they're
shit,
like
like
chunky,
really
and they're
old.
like, I
Big
think,
old chunky books.
I think the binding is a little torn, and like the edges of the pages are like
They're
frayed and
worn, yeah.
yellowed. Yeah.
And so like he has like the books in his arms. So this is like perfect. I just needed something to distract me while I'm here. Thank you so much. And he just kind of like bows his head because obviously he can't like
Right.
do anything with his hands. And he takes the books back with him to his room. And I assume that like just as soon as he does that, he just like puts the books down on like the nearest table or whatever in his room, and he just picks like the one that was written by what's his face, and he just starts reading over it.
So the particular book that's Halfar's is labeled, it's a blue. It's like the same gray blue that you're seeing literally everywhere. It's the same kind of dark navy blue, and it has the number 3 written on it in Roman numerals, and that's all that's on the cover. And it's again, it's kind of worn. It's really old looking. Kind of looks like it's been beat up a bit.
Ooh, actually, I could actually do maybe I could do a history check on that. I could.
Ella, question.
Yeah.
How do elves know Roman numerals?
It's
just a style of numeric
just a
numbering.
style of numbers. Like, it's literally okay.
I was like,
I really want to do. I want to do a history check on that specific book, like the one that Yvonne is reading. I just want to see if I might be able to scamper something from any of the other books that I've read, or like maybe somehow when Yvonne was doing his like research, he could have come across something that may like trigger when he reads this. Like,
okay.
Okay.
All right, roll.
Okay. Okay, so I'm doing history, so it would be a 13.
13. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Holy shit.
So, the general style, the outward appearance of the book is very elvish too. Like, I'm sure there are tiny little details etched into the cover that look very like
yeah.
They have an elven style to them.
Yeah.
The book itself is written in Elvish too.
Okay, so I can fully read this front and back and be like.
And there are little bits of it in Common. I mean, it just looks. It doesn't look like anything you'd see in like a fancy library or anything. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a typical older kind of style Elvish book.
Cool. Is there like anything specific that the book is about itself?
So, when Navon opens to the front page, it has a pencil drawing of a bow, and it's a very detailed bow. It's got like kind of swirly, spirally shapes going up the arch of it, and it's just like a very pretty, fantastical looking bow. And it also has the Roman numerals 3 under it, under the drawing.
Yeah, for the book. Yeah. Cool. So I'm just I think all Navon is just gonna do is just like start reading through the books like in his room, just like sit on his bed, get most of his gear off, and just like read through the books.
Alright, so I'm gonna go backwards. Book number 2 has, the binding is a kind of pinkish color. It's like a magenta, and it's a similar style to the book 3, but what's the tiefling language again?
Tiefling is
Infernal, I think. Yes, Infernal.
Okay. A lot of it is written in Infernal, but more, like, compared to book 3, more of it is written in Common than Tiefling. And the front page of that one has a drawing of an axe that is also very intricate looking. Looks like it's got like rhinestones in the blade, and it's the handle is, wrapped, and the Roman numerals 2 are underneath it. I'll tell you what each of the books are about after I tell you what one is about. Book 1 has a yellow binding. It's got a yellow cover, and the drawing in the front of it is of a sword. I have a description of this. I forgot what it looked like. I'm so sorry. The shape of a closed eye is carved, looks like it's been carved into the crossguard of the hilt on this sword. And this sword is also very, like, fantastical and kind of flashy looking, and it has the Roman numeral 1 underneath it.
What text is the book written in?
It's all Common.
Okay.
Each of the books have very, very detailed and in-depth, like, instructions, almost, on how to make each of the weapons pictured on each of the front pages. and there's a lot of magic involved. Like,
Oh,
a lot of it.
It's a
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
okay.
so basically the books are Lego instructions.
I mean, for magical,
But for magic.
for very magical weapons, yes.
Wow. That's very cool.
Oh my god, I forgot a very important detail.
Oh,
Each of the books
Damn
has an
it.
author's name written on it. Of course,
Yeah.
the book that Halfar wrote has his name on it, but the other two have been scratched out to the point where you can't read it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
For some reason, this is getting very interesting. I want to know
Yeah,
more.
it's because Liv is literally the first person to ask that kind of question, so...
Yeah, the knowledge, baby!
Liv made an intelligent question while I would just sit
My
there
character is
being a
intelligent. They
doofus.
read books like it's fucking nothing. So this shit's interesting,
My
man.
character was being a fucking doofus and screwed up his chances to sleep with an orc chick tonight.
Okay, so yeah, all Nevon's gonna do is that, like, through the whole night, pretty much, like, he's just going to read the books, and then most likely, like, do his, like, little 4 hours of meditation he needs to do to be, like, fully awake. So, like, basically read, sleep, and just move on to the next day
Read.
for him.
Right. Okay. Which is perfect, because that's a good segue. And now, a small intermission from Ben.
It's break time! It's break time! Everyone take a break, it's break time!
Okay, now let's get back to the episode. When you awake, the halls and tunnels seem to be bustling with activity. There are troops of orcs and tall, slender elves traversing the caves. Some of them enter your rooms, and they usher you to get all your stuff ready and lead you through them, or not get all your stuff ready, I'm sorry. They just, wake you up, basically, and they lead you to the caverns. They lead you through the caverns to the main throne room where you met Master Halfar yesterday. You all gather in the throne room with the aid of the orc guards, and Master Halfar is in, like, a blue silk robe. It's basically his pajamas. He's got bedhead and everything. When you all get there, Halfar flips his hair out of his face, and he says, "I'm hoping none of you have changed your mind about my offer?"
Sage is just standing there eating an apple.
Chill.
To be fair,
Can I have me more than rum first?
you got
Well, I did.
Nevon just kind of, like, gives a shrug, but it obviously means, like, yeah, nothing's changed.
Okay, good, because,
Oh.
if you would have said no, we would have had to kill you. So,
It's like,
Sage literally spits his apple out.
and, so he laughs it off. He's like, come on now, I shall show you what your assignment is. So Halfar hops off the throne and he beckons for you guys to follow. And you notice none of the orc guards follow you. He leads you behind the throne and down a hidden hallway. The hallway is like everything else in the caverns. It's only lit by blue and purple crystals. And then the hallway seems to come to a dead end all of a sudden. Halfar taps on a crystal near the end of the hallway, and the wall in front of you opens up into a round room filled with pale blue light. And along the opposite wall of the doorway there are 4 large oh my god, I can't fucking speak English! Ah! Okay, it's 4 huge display cases. And Nevon, you recognize 3 of the items. In the first case is a large axe The handle and blade are embedded with pink stones. The handle of the axe is wrapped with leather that has been dyed a dark magenta color. The blade is a clean, sparkling silver. The second display holds a finely handcrafted elven bow with a quiver that is equally as grand. The bow is made of dark blue wood that is similar to the color of Halfar's hair. Spiral patterns are carved into the main curve of the bow and have been filled with a glimmering red paint. And in the third case is a large sword. It has an intricately crafted gold hilt. The shape of a closed eye is carved into the crossguard of the hilt, and the pommel has a red gemstone set into it. And in the fourth case is a giant... What?
It's empty.
No, in the fourth case is a giant butter knife.
No way!
Giant butter knife.
I promise
Are you fucking...
it'll make sense in the future. So yeah, the fourth case is a giant butter knife. Halfar gestures around the room in each case, and he says, your job is to be, disposing of these items, and I will assign each of them a location you'll be taking them to, and your job isn't to necessarily dispose of them, but rather just get rid of them so that I don't have to deal with them anymore. Because frankly, their presence is menacing.
How menacing?
What?
They look...
How menacing are they?
Menacing.
It's just, they remind me of things I don't want to think about. So, I want
What do you not want to think about?
Well, I don't want to get into that right now. I just want them gone. So, your job is to sell them. It doesn't matter who you sell them to. And you guys can keep the money from selling.
Can I just go throw it in the dumpster?
No, because money is fun,
Good
isn't
idea.
it? You're selling them. You're getting money from it. And besides,
That's not what I do.
Trust me, I don't think you want to throw them in a dumpster. Just speaking from personal experience, I've tried. And it doesn't end well.
Look,
Do you have a question,
they're cursed
Liz?
objects. You want
I'm just thinking for a minute. I'm doing a big brain think.
Sage is having a big brain moment.
A big brain think. I think, I got a good one. So Navon, after hearing this and like looking over the glass case for a second and remembering all the shit he read about last night, he looks at our boy and he goes, in Elvish, to be clear, he asks, is it because of the magical properties that these weapons hold that you're so scared of them?
Well, he responds in Elvish, of course.
Yeah.
And they just remind me of people that I really don't want to think about anymore. I don't like having them here because of that.
And then Yvonne kind of just nods his head and then he goes, would it be possible, just out of curiosity's sake, and mind you, still speaking Elvish when he says this, he asks, would it be possible that I take the sword that's there?
I mean, you're taking all of them, but do you mean keep it for yourself?
And he just, like, slowly nods his head.
I don't...
Slowly nods his head.
How far his eyes widen a little bit, and he's still smiling, and he says, I don't think you want to do that. I mean, if you really, really wanted to, sure.
And Navon thinks for a minute, he nods, and he says, I'll take it off, and he kind of focuses on him, and he kind of, like, squints his eyes slightly, like, just a little bit lower, and he just kind of nods to himself, and he goes, I'll take it off and he's still speaking Elvish, he goes, I'll take it off your hands, so you don't have to deal with it, but I want to take it for a different reason other than actually, using it for combat.
Oh,
And he just kind of like, he just kind of gestures with his hands like slightly, like he's just like, yeah. And also, if you didn't notice, he has like a quarterstaff on his back, but everything else is hidden, so like he only has a stick. So he's just like, I'm not going to use it for combat. I just want to use it for something else.
I mean, you're gonna get all of them at some. Yeah, you can if you want. I just really want them gone.
And he goes, and he just nods.
Merchants to you.
And he nods, and he goes, we'll get rid of the rest of them. I'll be taking the sword, just so you know. And he just, like, leaves it at that, and he just goes back to being quiet and just standing there.
Okay. And he goes back to common, and he gestures to the axe, and he says, I suppose I should tell you what these do, just as a preliminary... just as, like...
Warning?
Yeah, just as a warning. These items are certainly not normal, and apparently, Navon here has read about them. And I don't know how you read about them, or where you found those books.
He just stares at, like, him, like, with the most blank, slightly kind of, like, there's... Looking at both his missing eye and his actual eye, you can see that, like, there's a glint in there, but it's not like of like heh heh heh. It's more like of there's something like behind his eyes that's like kind of intimidating behind him, like
Okay.
like something calculated, but you're not sure what it is.
Okay. Halfar says, I'm going to have to talk to whoever gave you those books and figure out why they were where they were in the first place. But, let me just tell you, this axe doesn't do any damage, but it can make people smell nice if you hit them with it.
That is the weakest technique I've ever heard of. You can't even kill people with it.
The bow only shoots where you're aiming if you're drunk, like really shit-faced drunk, like absolutely plastered. And
Why is it so perfect?
the sword is probably the most convenient item. It can do a lot of damage very, very quickly, and I think it can shoot fire, but I'm not entirely sure. And as far as I know, the butter knife is just a butter knife.
Sage is just like, I'm gonna take that.
Thank you.
I'm about to steal.
Sage, this butter knife
I
is
think
like
I'm about
twice your height.
He goes into combat with a butter knife.
It's just a butter knife.
Can I
Yeah.
have the butter knife?
I mean, you're, again,
Hold on. Before you get the hot finger butter knife. You want us to become merchants for you just because you want to get rid of something that scares you.
you caught me red-handed. Essentially,
You
yes.
weakling, do it yourself. Sheesh.
The thing is,
Back where I come from, if you
can't.
wanted something done right, you do it yourself.
The thing is, I can't. I can only... Here, let me just demonstrate. And he opens the case. He complete... You notice the whole time he's, like, avoiding the sword. And he opens the
What
case... He opens the case to the axe, and he touches it, and, like, a little spark kind of flickers between the axe and his hands, and he's like, ouch, that fucking hurt! I can't touch them.
Is he fucking hexed?
I can only touch the bow, so I can't get rid of them
You
myself.
can't touch
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, I see what's going on here. I see.
And
Big
Sage
brain
having
think.
big brain.
I have big brain think. I know what's going on with these weapons /
Hold
items.
on. Ragdoll has something to say.
Is it?
Ben, what are you asking?
Okay. So Ragnar raises his eyebrow just like he did in last night, and he's like, and who gets to carry the bow?
What, anyone?
Who gets to carry the... But you can't, you weakling!
What do you mean?
You know what? I think the reason why you went for the bow first was there's something even scarier about the sword. Tell us. What's cursed about the sword?
I did tell you it does a lot of damage, and I think it can shoot fire, and I really don't want to risk that.
And Navon steps in. No, Navon steps in and he goes, and like he speaks in common out loud, and he goes, if anybody is going to touch the sword, it's going to be me. And
you go right ahead.
And he goes over to the case, like he lets him open the case, and then he goes and grabs the hilt of the sword, like very carefully, and he gently holds out two hands, like in front of him, and he flips it down so the blade is facing the ground, but he's still holding it in his hand, and he kind of looks over and he's like, he just kind of examines it really closely, just in general.
Halfar takes a couple steps back, and yeah, nothing happens with you and the sword. It's just a sword.
And so Navon just kind of like goes, interesting. And then because it came with the hilt, he has a belt on his waist, and when he does, he undoes the belt and he clips the hilt of the sword on his waist, and he puts it in, and then he goes, if anybody is going to touch that, it's me. And he just leaves it at that, and he just goes to stand by the others, and he just goes silent.
And Halfar is now avoiding, like, being anywhere near you. Like, he is at least 6 feet away. He's, like, socially distancing from just
social distance.
And he holds his hand up defensively, and he says, that is fine by me. Just get it out of my sight.
Get it out of my fucking sight.
And then he says, as I'm sure you know... By the way, that was a bold-ass move. Anyway.
I'm gonna take the sword that probably is, like, very bad gonna happen with it. I'm just like,
He's like, well, I mean, we were just gonna put them in boxes and have you ship them that way, but, like, that's okay, too. I guess. And...
Then I'll take the axe.
Sage just walks up to the butter knife box. I'm just gonna take this.
Please take the bow.
Can I just take this?
Please take the bow too. It is of no use
I'm
to
taking
me.
the bullet.
I do not drink anymore.
Because I'm already drunk.
Yeah, please take it from me. I do not drink anymore. Don't want it.
Oh, that's because you don't got the stomach for the beast. I will take it.
I'll have you know I made that bow.
Ragnar grabs the bow. And what happens? I can't... And, like, he just sits there and examines it, like, it's just a piece of... It's just a stick! Because since he's a soldier with the mountain elves... I mean, not elves, fucking...
Dwarves.
I was like, wait.
I've been talking about elves for so long, it's been... And he's more used to, like, sword fighting and all this. He's like, it's just a stick! A string!
That's
you are a weakling.
what a bow is, my friend. He says, and then
I prefer sword fighting than this weak shit.
I really want to move on. He was like, well, I was not expecting you to just go up and grab the weapons, but I mean, it works.
What?
It's all right. And he kind of gives Navon the side eye, and he says, these weapons were made under extremely unorthodox circumstances. It is crucial that you take exceptional care of these items on your travel. I would prefer you didn't... I would prefer you didn't use them in combat, just so you know you guys would get more money from selling them. If you so choose, of course. But yeah, my troops are gonna give you plenty of supplies, and they're gonna help you. They're gonna help you pack up, and you're gonna leave at, let's say you're gonna leave at noon.
But noon is tea
Here's a
time.
better question.
What?
Shut up, you hold it.
Noon is
Question,
what?
Master, whatever your name is. Who's taking the axe? There's 3 of us.
I
I'm not
don't.
taking
Buddy, I will take the axe, considering that I've read up on all 3 of these weapons, and I know exactly how this was made and how it was done, and I will be the one to sell it.
Very
Well,
well.
you're
I
not-
can't carry it anyways.
You just got the knife.
And I'm not gonna
Yeah, you
sell
can't
anytime
carry it.
soon.
I can't carry it anyways.
I'm not selling
You have a
it
bag full of
anytime
fish.
soon.
My god.
Well, I can carry the fish, but
He's got a
Can't
huge
carry an
ass
axe.
fucking butter knife, too.
And Rag
I got this butter knife
and
though. I'll
Ragnar
take this.
turns to what was his name?
How far?
The elf in the party. I can't remember his
Oh,
name.
Navon.
For the life of me. Yeah, he turns to Navon and is like, well, I'm not taking a shower anytime soon. So you can forget making me smell nice.
Oh.
Because he's a dwarf. He doesn't care for showers. So
And Navon goes over to the case, and he grabs the axe, and what he does is he has like where his bow staff is, or like quarterstaff, he takes it off for a second, and then he takes the spare belt that he just kind of has like hanging loose on the side, and he takes it off, and then he wraps the belt around the top and tightens it. So it's like attached to like the quarterstaff, and then he puts that back on his like back so he can kind of keep it there to like carry.
Alright.
Transportation.
And, yeah, now, Halfar seems very wary of Navon. He's just, like, staying a good distance away at all times. And I think he's a little pissed because you, like, read his book, you know?
Oh yeah, it's like the deep dark secret.
Yeah, like, from the way he acted, you can kind of get the sense that those books really weren't supposed to be in the common room in the first place.
They were there by accident.
Yeah, they were just kind of put there by accident, and,
Oof.
yeah, so Halfar is a little,
Pissed.
standoffish
He's
now.
pissed.
Yeah, so,
okay,
what?
question. Hold on, I got something to do.
What are you doing?
Okay, so Ragnar goes to Master Halfar and says, don't worry, sir. We'll sell these weapons and be back before you know it. As a sign of reassurance, because of the look of worry on his face from the elf who carries the axe and sword.
Right, Navon.
That's one. Yeah, Navon. Because
Halfar,
don't worry, sir. We'll have these back before you have these sold and gone before you know it.
Halfar kind of, like, his smile gets a little cheerier and less, like, afraid. And he looks at Ragnar and he goes, thank you so much for getting these off my hands. Please do take good care of that bow. I worked very hard. Even though I hate the shit out of it right now, I worked very hard on it and would rather not have it lost or destroyed. So...
Understood, sir. I'll do my best not to break your stick.
And with that, he leads you back down the hallway and into the throne room. And once again, he addresses all of you. He says, please collect your things and meet back here as soon as possible. And thus, you go back to your rooms to collect whatever items you left there. And you meet back in the throne room. Hey, this is a good question. Navon, do you bring the books?
I'm kind of tempted to bring the books with me. Like, I'm kind of tempted to bring the books with me. Just Yeah, I kind of want to bring the books with me.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I don't have, I have a lot of space.
What's happening? Hold on.
It's the books that I
What's
got from the
happening?
common room the night before. Ella's asked me if I want to bring them with me or leave them there. I really want to bring them with me because, like, I did read them already, but, like, I want to bring them with me because, like, that's what I kind of do is I read books, I figure out what they use for it. If I really like them, I keep them. That's what I do. So I think I'll probably throw them in my throw the books in my satchel or whatever, and I meet everybody out there like at the same time. So
all right. So you're now ushered back into the original entry room where you guys were taken off of the cart, and there's another wagon there. So orc guards are loading supply crates onto it with like food and provisions and stuff. And you see Rox, the half-orc girl, helping like direct them and organize them, and she notices you three just kind of standing there watching, and she walks over to you and she says, Master Halfar told me that you guys need supervision, and I don't disagree. So, I've been ordered to come with you.
Children!
Question.
Sure, I may look small, but I am no child.
When I am a fully grown dwarf.
Well, he just wants me to, like, oversee everything, you know? Trust me, I don't really want to do it either, but I've just been told to come with you guys.
I might puke on this. I hate wagons. Make me nauseous.
Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Okay, then. You're gonna have to give me alcohol before we do this.
She really doesn't seem to be very happy about the fact that she's going with you guys. Like, she kind of looks upset. And Master Halfar saunters back into the room, still keeping a distance, and he watches everything with a small smile on his face. And as you board the cart, Halfar waves at you guys and says, he's like, "Oh, goodbye, my sweet babies. You go, be good. Get rid of those stupid weapons for me. You're gonna be great. Mwah, mwah."
No, Navon just looks really confused. He goes,
Hold on, Ella, what did you say? He said?
Oh my
he's
god.
just saying goodbye. He's like, goodbye.
Well, y'all broke up on my end. Y'all broke up on my end.
So he
said goodbye.
Yeah, he's basically saying goodbye.
Yeah, that's it.
And his goodbyes kind of fade off as the cart rolls out of the tunnel. And this time you guys can see everything perfectly fine. It's just a really long tunnel, and eventually it leads back out to the surface, and you see that behind you, the ground where the exit to the tunnel was covers over, and the hole seemingly disappears.
"Wow."
Now that's a hideout.
Now that's a forest.
away from home.
And you're off! You guys are in the forest of Durdwood, spelled D-U-R-D wood, not Turdwood, I promise.
So it's Dirtwood, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Dirtwood?
D-U-R-D, Durdwood.
Oh, Durdwood. Turdwood.
No, god damn it, Ben, I knew you were gonna do this shit.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just love the way that some people might say it as Turdwood.
Alright, I'm gonna move past that. So you guys have been
Turdwood.
You guys have been on the road for about an hour or two so far, and it's been very quiet and very uneventful. Rox hasn't spoken a single word, but she's quietly, like, whittling at a stick she found. She's just carving it up. What are you guys doing on your quiet ride?
I think Navon is just like, I feel like for him, he's just kind of like sitting with like his hands like this, like he's on, like on his knees, just kind of like this, but like his mouth is covered and he's just kind of blanked out a little bit, like he's just kind of like, on the trip, like not making a noise, and he's just kind of in thought. So.
Okay.
What kind of day is it? What time of day is it?
It's beautiful. It's sunny. It's warm, but not like disgustingly warm. You know, it's like a pleasant.
Yeah.
Pleasant.
It's
a
noon.
nice day.
It's noon.
Yeah, it's you guys have been on the road for an hour or two, so it's probably like
So like 1 o'clock.
yeah, like one or
Oh,
2 p.m.
okay. It's luncheon.
Ragnar
Okay, start eating.
Ragnar is just sitting there, very chill, like smoking a pipe, and
Okay.
just listening to the quietness of everything.
All right. Yep. Sage is eating some potato, onion soup, fish and chips, shepherd's pie, roast mutton, and some Scotch eggs.
All right, hold on a sec. Let me grab something.
How much food are you going to eat, laddie? How much food are you going to eat?
It depends. We still have afternoon tea, supper, and dinner.
God, I can eat all of that in one sitting. I got all of that in one sitting.
Is this like an actual
But I won't.
conversation that's going on here?
This is actual
Yes.
Hobbit meal list. This is an actual Hobbit meal list.
Okay.
You got that off the internet, didn't
Yeah, I
you?
literally did. Yeah, breakfast at 7, second breakfast at 9, 11 C's at 11, luncheon at 1, afternoon tea at 3, dinner at 6, and supper at 9.
Oh gosh. Yeah, and what Ragnar's pipe looks like. You know what Bilbo Baggins' pipe looks like?
Yeah.
Think that, but with Dwarvish language carved into it.
As you guys ride along, the horses pulling the cart, there are 4 horses, the horses pulling the cart seem to get increasingly nervous, and they eventually stop in the middle of the trail, and they're like anxiously neighing, and they're kind of like stomping their hooves, and they're looking around in the bushes and trees lining the trail, and how do you guys respond to this?
Well, first of all, I do definitely want to do I want to do a perception check, just in
Me as
general, to maybe figure out what's going on.
Okay.
So let me roll my dice.
Do all of you guys want to do that?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you're up.
Yes.
Here.
Okay,
Here,
everyone roll a d20.
Hold on, let me grab my character sheet here. Okay,
No, you don't need your character
perception.
Wait, no, yeah, you do. Never mind, I'm sorry, I'm stupid.
16.
Jesus.
I rolled a 16.
Perception.
14. I
have a 23.
okay.
Jesus Christ.
So I got
Thanks
a
for-
14.
Go you.
I have a 14. I have
Mine's
plus 2
16,
modifier,
so-
but also I am proficient in perception.
Me as well.
Oh, don't I do my proficiency bonus too? Oh, I do! Haha! So I have 18 in total
what's
for my
proficiency
perception
bonus?
check. It's
Wait,
when
hold on.
it's basically when you do any kind of checks or anything, there's a little number that you get on the top of, like, just above your saving throws area called proficiency bonus, and basically if you are proficient in that specific skill, you add that to it as well. So you do your base roll plus your modifier plus your proficiency, and that's what you get as your total. But it's only for stuff that you're proficient in. So, like, since you have, like, strength, for example, if you did a strength check, you would do strength plus whatever modifier plus your proficiency bonus, because that's how it would work.
Oh, okay. 20.
You're probably
I have
like,
a 25.
Nice,
I have a
man,
25
nice.
now.
okay,
I'm sure
18,
like
25, and what did you get, Ben?
Yeah, I'm proficient in perception, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth.
Yeah,
So-
I'm proficient in perception too, but it's just with my proficiency bonus, my bonus, and the roll, I got 18.
Okay, so, hold on, let me roll a bunch of dice real quick.
Oh no.
Oh no!
No.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Hold on.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
my D20s out.
Ragnar
Get
pop-
ready,
hold on,
boys.
hold on, before- Ragnar pops his head on. I was like, what's going on up there? And put
hold on, before
He
I
puts
answer
out his
that
pipe.
question.
Hold on, let Ella do her thing
Whoa.
first, because she needs to focus on this, because it's probably very important.
So what have we? I wonder what we ran into.
Ah, it's funny you asked. So,
No.
I'm gonna say all of you see
No.
this.
It's what?
So, in the bushes, there are 4 goblins, 2 to either side. And, Sage, you're the only one who notices this. In the tree is a goblin boss.
Oh,
Roll for initiative!
we're so dead.
You are up disrupting my luncheon. I swear, I'm going to murder you.
I bet you thought the episode was over, didn't you? Well, not yet. It's your new favorite boss man, Master Halfar, to plug some merch. As of right now, we have 2 designs up for the podcast. We have one of my sexy face with a little inside joke you might get later, and we also have the Cursed 4 logo up on our Redbubble. The link is in the description below, and it really helps us out. Stay tuned for the next episode, where the boys fight some goblins, they finally visit Redwick, and Navon finds out some super freaky shit about the sword.